Match up which figures you think are congruent. I will give you a hint that they come in pairs.
Oh, yeah.
These should look like this.
Where's the other one?
These two are the same.
These two. Stick with the
Okay. Next to, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay. How many?
Two. Just connect a pair.
Well, this is fun to write on.
Okay. Ryan says that these two are congruent. Bennett, what do you think about these two being congruent? And why did Ryan pair these two up? They look the same, is what he said. Okay.
Are you wearing Balenciagas?
I am wearing Sorels. Is that like super fancy?
It's like $1,000.
Not very fancy, but I'm glad that you think that I could pull that off. Okay. All right. Pair up another pair. Thank you, Corda. I'm pretty low maintenance. All right. Harper has matched these two up together.
I agree.
Okay. Brady, why did she match these two up together? Because they're like the same. I mean, is that a pretty good explanation?
Oh, what?
Pair up. Okay. Trent, did you pair these two up like Quinlan did? And why did you pair those up? Oh, okay. Hold on. He said they look similar. That's different than what we were saying before. Okay, are same and similar the same word? No. So I'm going to ask you, do they look the same or do they look similar?
The same.
Okay, so now he's changing it to the same. That's okay. They're not oriented the same, but they're the same what? They're the same shape and the same what? Okay, Corin is saying that these two are the same shape and the same size. Okay. How about these pink ones that Ryan matched up? Are they the same shape and size? Okay. How about the blue ones that Harper matched up? Same shape and size? Okay. I'm going to circle this guy and this guy. Are they the same shape and size? Are these two the same shape and size? Go ahead and turn to your notes page. Guess what? Congruent figures are figures that have the same shape and the same size. You know what just happened? You told me what congruent figures are. I didn't tell you. You told me. You did that. Okay, so congruent is the geometry word for equal. Okay, so when we're talking about geometric figures like triangles and quadrilaterals, that's a four-sided shape, or any sort of polygon, okay, and instead of equal, we say congruent, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to circle this congruent, and we're going to write that the symbol is this. It's an equal sign with a squiggly. Okay, that means congruent. Okay. And what we're going to practice today is not only identifying like shapes that are congruent, but also their corresponding parts. Okay. So I want you to look at these two shapes right here. Would you say that they're congruent? Okay. Well, they're congruent because they're the same size and the same shape. And what happens is all of their pieces match up. So like this angle B and this angle E, they're the same size. So we say that, like in this case, angle B is congruent to angle E because these figures are congruent, so all of their pieces are congruent. Okay. Same thing goes for all of their sides. Okay. This side AC is going to have the same length as this side DF. So since those are corresponding sides, they're in the same place in our two triangles, they're going to be congruent. Okay. So if we have two figures that are congruent, all of their corresponding sides are congruent. Their corresponding angles are congruent. All of the pieces match up to be the same. Okay. So what's nice about that picture is that they're oriented the same. What we're going to need to be careful with is like that warm-up sheet that I gave you. If they're like turned and flipped different ways, we'll need to be a little careful of how we match them up. But I want to go ahead and look at this first example right here. So we are looking for the number of hours you need to work. So that's going to be your variable. Number of hours. So if it says 650 per hour, what does that per mean?
She couldn't get her pencil for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then she needs at least $234. It's an inequality. It's one of these signs. Like a less than, greater than, equal to, something like that. Okay. Okay, so I want you to write in this little piece right here, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Okay. So this side AB, what side over here is in the exact same spot? AB is in the same spot as DE. So I'm going to write that AB is congruent to DE. When I name a side, we put a line over it so we know that it's a side. Right. That means congruent. Yes. Okay. It's not the Spanish squiggly, it's the congruent squiggly in this class. Okay, CB. What is in the same spot as CB? FE. So we're going to say that side CB is congruent to FE. Okay. Now, if you named it as BC, well, what would you have to name this guy over here? EF. And that would be fine. Okay. If you named BC to EF, but they have to be in the same order as you see them in the triangle. Okay. All right. And then AC. What's in the same spot as AC? Okay. So AC is congruent to DF. Okay, now our corresponding angles. We have 3 angles in each of our triangles. Angle A is congruent to which angle? Angle D, because they're in the same spot, they have the same measure in our congruent triangles. Angle B is congruent to angle. They're in the same spot in our congruent triangles. Oh, that is an angle symbol, like angle, angle. No, like it's more like an angled L. Angle C is congruent to angle F because they're in the same spot here. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do for this next one. I'm going to write in, I want you to write these with me. I want you to write GH right here. I want you to write HI, IJ, and IJ and DJ. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I want you to go through and find the corresponding side in the second trapezoid that is going to be congruent to the sides we just wrote down.
Accusation.
Okay, Arislin, what is congruent to GH? KL. Okay. Bennett, what is congruent to HI? LM. Okay. Trent, what is congruent to IJ? MN. Good. Corin, what is congruent to GJ? KN. What'd you do wrong, Jada? Okay. Maybe we can, like, maybe somebody else made the same mistake we could talk about. Oh, okay. Did you flip the order of one of them? Okay. So if I write GJ, we need to pick that same order from over here. So K and then N. Because when we come over here to talk about our corresponding angles, angle G is going to be congruent to angle K because they're in the same place. All right. Angle H is congruent to angle L because they're in the same place. Angle I and angle M, those always need to match up, I and M. And then J and N always need to match up when we're naming things. Okay. So this is what I want you to do. Once you're finished writing down this, I want you to come down here to where it says your turn. And I want you to write, there's going to be, how many sides are in this pair of congruent figures? Okay, so you're going to have 4 corresponding sides and you're going to have 4 corresponding angles. Please write them down. Go. I have no problem with you working with your elbow partner.
No, stop, no. Yes. And then don't work with your elbow. I'm trying to work with my elbows.
And then B, C, E,
J. How we do? Are you gonna record it?
Okay, Brady, give me one pair of corresponding sides that are congruent. AB is congruent to JK. Please make sure you have the lines above for the sides and you have the congruent symbol. Okay, do you agree with Brady?
Yes.
Okay, good. Bronson, give me another pair. BC and KL. Good. Ariana, give me another pair. Give me another pair. DC is congruent to. Okay, good. Now, how many of you wrote CD is congruent to LM? Guess what? That means the same thing. Okay, just make sure if you write DC, you're writing ML. If you're writing CD, you're writing LM. Do you see what I'm saying there? Okay, Brillia, what's our last set that we need to? Okay, DA is congruent to MJ. Or if you wrote AD is congruent to JM, that means the same thing. Okay, just make sure you have them in that right order. All right. Corin, give me an angle set. Okay, good. Olivia, give me another one. Great. Cordell, give me another one. Angle C is congruent to which angle? C is in the same spot as what over here? Yeah. And then angle D, everybody is congruent to angle. All right, turn the page. Okay, so two figures are congruent when, we're gonna go backwards, when corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. So on that first page, I said, hey, these are two congruent. Name me all of the pairs. Now I'm saying, hey, if you have congruent sides and congruent angles, then we're going to have congruent figures. So look at this weird notation here. Do you see how there's like those little curvy things on the angles? Do you see how there's like one curvy thing here and one curvy thing here? But then there's two here and two here. Okay. Oh, you did? You know this notation? So this is saying angle B and angle C and angle E are the same. This is saying angle C and angle F are congruent. And since these both have 3, angle A and angle D are congruent. Okay? And then these little side things, since there's one here and one here, those two sides are congruent. Since there's 2 here and 2 here, those two sides are congruent. Are you with me? Okay. So I want to know if these two are congruent. Why not? Okay. So are the angles congruent? Okay. Are the sides? No. Our corresponding sides are not congruent. So these are not congruent figures. Okay. They are? Why? Okay. So our corresponding angles are congruent. This side of